I imagine we'll be moving shortly here.
What do we have here? It looks like we got a doggo and... Is that supposed to be Wario? Or Waluigi?
I believe that's Waluigi, yes. The dog, the Dragon Warrior 4 dog on moonblazewolf's side.
Oh, we got the Stones of Sunlight and 2 keys. Look at that.
2 keys, very nice.
Nice. I wonder if anyone's going to save and check the treasury, or how they're going to play this. Always interesting with those 2 key starts.
Indeed.
Ouijawii opting to head out and into a cave. And a town in the swamp. Look at that. And moonblazewolf is set up for a potential grind here, depending on what chest order is opened in.
We have an herb. Potential herb grind at the start. Also useful. The dragon scale.
Oh, the big stick, which you could grind out if you really wanted to. You can't do that.
Alright, so let's see if either of those were actually Erdrick's sword. It does look like one of them was, in fact, the actual sword.
Oh yes, the first one was definitely the sword. Anytime it says the sword, it is the sword.
Yep, and there it is.
Even if you've got an overflow on the chest count. And yeah, the second one was fairy water, I believe.
Yep, that looks right. And then... So, no gold grind immediately in play here. Moonblade is gonna immediately put that sword to good use. Going to level 2, 3, 2, 2, and 4.
Yeah, and honestly, with the 2 keys start, you're more than willing to give up that key if it's going to get you the sword, because you can level up fairly quickly with that 40 attack power it gives you.
Yes, although even with the 40 attack power at level 1, not going to be doing very well against the Fun Police, the Red Dragon, that Ouijawii just ran into. Now, moonblazewolf navigating some cave in the dark here.
I'm guessing that to be Swamp Cave? Not Swamp Cave, geez, Mountain Cave.
Let's see, this might actually be
Tablet. Yeah, that's a good point. It is Tablet. In the dark. Hope the doggo does not get lost.
Yeah, so the Tablet Cave, actually, though it's the first cave you encounter in the vanilla game typically, it is rather difficult to navigate. It's one of the trickier ones.
Well, there's some good news. If the moonblazewolf gets lost, he will be able to use that torch to get out.
Yes, meanwhile, level 3 bringing 0 power! 0 HP! I love it! For Ouijawii.
Well, not having front-loaded strength isn't a big deal when you're carrying that sword. And speaking of fun times, here comes level 4. There's some power, some agility, some hit points, and I'm sorry, Emptyeye, you can't be that happy. There were stats everywhere.
Yes, that was actually a fairly solid level up.
Absolutely. And there's 2 towns. There's actually one off on the edge of the swamp to the southeast.
Indeed. That first town is Hawksness anyway.
Not a bad place for Hawksness. It could be a good grind spot later if required. And ooh, an armored knight in the swamp. Not good for moonblazewolf.
Nope. He'll be going back to the start. Ouijawii finding a slime here, taking that out, and does come across the second town.
Having that heal spell is really nice at level 4. The sooner moonblazewolf gets there, the better. And Ouijawii makes the town. It is... well...
Brackenary.
Brackenary.
Well, I suppose if there were a time you want to see Brackenary, it probably is as the first town, just to see what's available in the equipment shop here.
I believe moonblazewolf took out a wraith. Not a wraith, a skeleton there to get levels 3 and 4.
Yep, also taking out a Druin. Magic armor available in the Brackenary shop if our runners can somehow engineer 7,700 gold. Also a large shield available there. Ouijawii picking up the leather armor in the meantime.
Moonblazewolf seeing hurt on a dragon, green dragon, and thinking maybe I can get away with it, but the green dragon immediately chomped upon Moonblazewolf back to the castle with the wolf.
Not going to be doing much there with 11 defense power. Ouijawii equipping the dragon scale now for the extra 2 more defense points. And immediately selling it back. When you equip the dragon scale or the fighter's ring, the bonuses actually remain even if you lose or otherwise sell the item. So you can sell it back to get that inventory slot back after equipping it.
I was just going to say we have a third town, but I realized I'm just seeing someone else's town near this edge of the screen. That was a little confusing. So both runners right now really struggling with the low hit points and the bigger nasty enemies. We've seen red dragons and armored knights both just a couple zones away from the castle in the swamp and the desert here. So a bit of a choke point for our players early on. This will be level 5 coming up here for Ouijawii.
$14 power, 26 magic points, and the spell of hurt.
Yeah, you gotta like seeing those big, massive swaths of gains. Hey, there's werewolves around too. There's lots of dangerous stuff just waiting to choke these guys out.
Looks like we're on the left edge of the map here. Another huge swamp. And Ouijawii try to put this wraith to sleep and run, attack, gonna fight it. Okay.
Well, yeah, with all this strength, may as well go for it. Should be a 2-turn hit and kill, and it was. That's the first use of sleep. We were thinking sleep was going to be useful, but it doesn't mean much when you start with that sword.
Right, I'm actually even surprised Ouijawii bothered sleeping the wraith, to be honest. Another level up here. 0 agility! Oh, I love it!
Well, you know, agility is just a suggestion after all, so if there's one you're going to empty, maybe that's the one.
It is just a number.
Sneak attack from a wyvern. Ouijawii sinks into the swamp, and there's the big level for Moonblazewolf getting to 5. What might really suit these guys is trying to find a mid-game grind of enemies like wraiths and things of that nature they can kill in 2 turns. If they can find a zone with a few of those, they could probably get their levels up really going, get the hit points a bit higher so they can actually strike out and do a little more exploring.
Alright, Ouijawii has found something here. It looks like skeletons and drolls, which is not too bad at this point.
That could be pretty easy to get the next hundreds. Oh, skeletons have more. That's not nice.
That is a new development.
With sleep in hand and still the chance to one-shot, not too dangerous. Just need to be careful, that's all.
Alright, as long as Ouijawii remembers to keep his hit points topped off here, should still be okay.
We have wolves as well in this area. This is definitely a good little spot to settle down here and probably get the next level.
Yeah, it looks like Moonblazewolf has a similar idea here. Gonna kind of settle in for a grind.
Well, there are drolls, there's slimes. I mean, there's nothing, it seems, that's there to just troll them with a big monster. But right now, the slimes are doing the trolling to Moonblazewolf.
Trolling happening in the opposite direction here. Slime's rather worthless, even at only level 5.
Well, there's level 6. You can enjoy the no agility again.
I love it!
Dragon Warrior mascot just won't go away right now. It's just slimes everywhere. Finally, a wolf, something worth killing. In a one-shot at level 6. You gotta love when you can one-shot these bigger, lower-tier monsters like that at the start.
Yeah, the Erdrick's Sword helping a lot with that. The 43 strength definitely lending an assist as well. That is a good deal stronger than you would be in the vanilla game.
Wolves are designed to annoy and harass you. Sleep and hurt.
Ouijawii now 1 experience point away from level 7 here.
The Drakey would have been enough, but it bailed. So after this wolf is slaughtered, we will have level 7, and no Emptyeye is anticipating many, many zeros.
We do have level 7 here. 0 agility! Ah, I love it!
I think that's 3 empty agilities already, which is not great, but the bigger issue they're facing is those hit points. They're just not climbing very fast.
Yeah, 45 hit points at level 7 here in the randomizer. Rather low.
There was level 7 for moonblazewolf, so it's a really close matchup at the moment. Both just feeling good about settling down and trying to get the job done here. And we have a green dragon being put to sleep. This would be a massive kill if it could be pulled off by Ouijawii. It could be a 3 or 4 turn battle depending on the rolls. Green dragon has woken up though. Can the sleep land again?
It does. Will it stay asleep long enough, though, is the question.
Next hit should do it. This should be 135 experience. Wah!
And he does.
It's a good pickup from Ouijawii. Not an easy kill, but the sleep working. I'm not even sure what the Green Dragon's resistance to sleep generally is.
I don't know myself. Looks like moonblazewolf here in Breckenary gonna top off his herbs.
moonblazewolf bought something at the store, it appears, but I did not catch what it was.
I didn't.
Probably leather armor, if anything, but...
Yeah, I didn't catch it either, but that would be my guess. Also gonna pick up a few torches here.
And here comes level 8? No, not yet. Skeleton's gotta die. And now level 8 coming for Ouijawii. Let's see what's gonna pop up. We have 4 power, 1 agility, 1 hit point, 1 magic point. Ugh.
These levels. A slow grind, and Ouijawii opting to stay around and grind up yet another level. moonblazewolf gonna try to get some exploration done here.
Reminds me of that song by Foghat. You know, slow grind, take it easy.
Moonblaze coming across some Drakemas now.
There have been enough skeleton kills here to make their own actual boneyard.
So, moonblazewolf has taken kind of a roundabout method of getting across that swamp there. Just going around it as opposed to through it. We'll see what's on the other side here.
Sneak attack skeleton hurt more, but Ouijawii gets the kill on the next turn, thankfully.
Moonblaze one-shotting a wolf. Always nice to see.
And the skeleton crew just continues to go here and keep giving Ouijawii those nice 25 experience. And uh-oh, the deputy shows up, but moonblazewolf makes a heroic escape, only to run into a strawberry wyvern on the next step. Yeesh. Not using sleep and getting slaughtered, unfortunately.
This is the, looks like kind of the end game zone there, between the AKs and the Star Wyverns.
And of course it was heading right into a potential choke point they might have to pass through. Could just be a dead-end peninsula too, though.
Yes. Could be one or the other. I was going to say both or neither, but I suppose that's not right either. There's going to be something there or there isn't. Not a whole lot of other possibilities.
Ouijawii making great use of that sleep spell, gets another green dragon and is closing in on level 9 pretty rapidly thanks to that 135 experience. And here's another green dragon. Could this be the level right here?
Warlock's, by the way, packing hurt more. So, moonblazewolf finds that out the hard way. The sneak attack.
And this green dragon's very narcoleptic, never getting awake, and here is level 9. Fantastic grind here from Ouijawii.
5, 13, 7, 1, and a new spell, and it's Heal More.
Heal More's good to have, but at this point, Hurt More would be more useful to the runners.
Yes, Heal More is definitely one you want to have, but right now its use is frankly somewhat limited by the rather low maximum hit points that our runners have.
With 1,200 gold in hand, I was wondering if Ouijawii might try to go fill up at the inn, because Breckenridge's just to the north. But these Demon Knights are being cruel, but that one gets taken down.
Another 90 experience there.
Now Golem's messing with moonblazewolf, finding a town though. We have coal. Could be big.
This could be big. Let's see what's in that search spot. 4 steps south.
It is the armor.
Armor.
And Ouijawii, meanwhile, gets hurt more by a Demon Knight, heading back to the castle, dropping half that gold in the process.
And with that Erdrick's armor pickup, that weapon shop in coal now entirely useless to move. Just weapons and armor. Nothing that's going to be stronger than, the strongest stuff in the game, the Erdrick's equipment.
Yeah, it does a whole bunch of fun stuff, too. You want to tell the people about it?
Sure. So, the Erdrick's armor, number 1, it is the strongest armor in the game, granting 28 extra defense power. It also has, as you said, a bunch of other effects. It restores 1 hit point for every step you take, and it also makes you immune to swamp and damage barrier tiles, as you can see here. And it's got a few other things as well. Why don't you tell the viewers some more about those?
I'm sorry, I actually had to step away for about 5 or 10 seconds, so I missed what you covered. But generally, Erdrick's armor, 28 defense power, 1 healing, 1 hit point healed per step, protects you from swamp and from barrier tiles. It allows stop spells never land. Hurt mores are cut in, I believe, half, and breath attacks, fire attacks, are cut by 1/3.
Indeed, one of the most broken things really in any JRPG. Meanwhile, the Red Dragons, the Fun Police, have Sleep and Baby Breath. Normally, I would really like seeing the Baby Breath on the Red Dragon, the Fun Police, as we affectionately call them. But with that Sleep spell, yikes.
It's a mean-looking monster.
And some pretty chunky stop spell resistance, too. Just under a coin flip to be able to actually land a stop spell on them.
Ouijawii heading back to the shop. You gonna be buying something or just checking in? Nope, getting that large shield. Very nice. That's 10 more defense power for Ouijawii.
Yes, indeed.
And a red dragon says, I'm going to test that shield. And Ouijawii does not want any part of that.
He books it the heck out of there.
Here's level 8 for moonblazewolf. Getting that rather obnoxiously bad level.
Yeah, not a great level.
Demon Knights are just hounding Ouijawii. There are so many dangerous things in that swamp near Hawksness. You got golems, you got armored knights. Demon Knights are the nicest thing in there, probably.
At this point, I would say yes. So, Ouijawii looks like going to check out the Hawksness enemy here. Now that...
Oh, and a loose red dragon down. And another red dragon escape. Whew. Goodness. The luck on the run. That's 2 39 agility runs from a red dragon.
Agility is just a number. Meanwhile, Moonblazewolf finding another town here. It's Rimmelbar.
And that's a good grab. They used up both their keys. Needs those keys.
Spike tile apparently a golem, and Ouijawii just nopes out of there. Even the low HP, I can't blame him.
Nah, the only thing he could have maybe tried to take out, would have been an Axe Knight. And even that probably would have been dicey.
Blazewolf gonna grab some keys, I presume check out the one chest here in Rimmeldar, see what's in there.
Oh, I haven't seen it for a while. I'm anticipating the old 1 for 2 sale. Spend 2 keys and you get 1.
All right, let's take a look. Have the wings.
Just
Oh,
vanilla
randomized.
wings. Delicious, delicious vanilla wings.
Yes. A pair of wings of wyvern are what are in that chest ordinarily.
And here comes level 10 for Ouijawii with a Star Wyvern takedown.
Very nice. 4, 1, 2, 6. A new spell looks like stop spell. Maybe repel as well?
I think repel was the spell. I think stop spell was already in hand at that point.
Okay.
But repel for sure. I came there.
Okay.
But either way, both runners kind of take a different approach. We have swamp somewhere here. I missed where exactly this was, but that's swamp south.
Yep, I missed that as well. And Moonblaze is going to walk to the north side as opposed to utilizing that outside spell. So the outside spell, as the name implies, it takes you outside of whatever dungeon you're in. A neat little trick you can do with it, though, is if you are in the swamp cave, it doesn't matter where you entered. When you cast outside, you will always wind up on the north side, the north exit of the swamp cave. And getting sent back to the start there. That's not...
Both of them, indeed. But moonblazewolf has keys, can check what's in the basement of Tanager. We might actually get our first deep dive dungeon, potentially. Right now, moonblazewolf has to push the advantage because lacking in experience points, Ouijawii's going to find coal sooner than later. It's not that far away. And it's mountain in the basement, so we're into one of our 5 chest dungeons that exist in the game. Ooh, a wizard for Ouijawii with a sneak attack, and it is breathing hot fire.
Oh! Wizard ate the nuclear buffalo wings for this seed. Hacking the Dragon Lord 2 breath, sending Ouijawii back to the start.
Moonblazewolf, meanwhile, trying to take down a green dragon, not using sleep strats like Ouijawii, and trying to just heal and hope for a hurt. And right now, it's just a losing battle here. Could even die on that potential hit, but not there. Green dragons must be only 25% on that hurt. They are attacking an awful lot.
Yeah, this particular green dragon has...
Uses the sleep and lands, and then runs away. Oh no! Pretty early in the mountain cave, may as well have just gone for the kill.
Right, it's also not that far away, apparently. Finding the death necklace in the top chest.
It's really not that far away, it's just in the basement of Tanagil. So the death necklace, that is an item that is not looking like it's going to matter on this seed. But if our players decide to use it, they will be cursed. They will lose 25% of their total hit points, and that includes gains that are obtained after wearing it, but you gain a 10 power boost. The other downside is that the king will not like you and throw you out of the castle immediately, not healing you. But we'll take half your money, because that's just how good of a king he is.
Yes, the exact words I believe are, "Thou hast failed, and thou art cursed. Get out."
And there was a fighter's ring pickup there for moonblazewolf. Once that is equipped, you gain 2 attack power permanently, whether or not you keep the ring.
Yes, it is the counterpart to the dragon scale. Although in the original game it is bugged, it does nothing. And additionally, the dragon scale, the death necklace, in the vanilla game, it doesn't have the trade HP for strength functionality, it's just a cursed item.
So yeah, I don't believe there was a gold grind available here. There could be one in the basement potentially, though, with that gold chest on the 2nd floor.
Right, our runners could set up a reverse gold grind here.
The cursed belt having functionality has been discussed, and a few ideas have been floated. I don't think anything that permanent is or like really caught on yet. It would be an interesting discussion to have, though. Among the community after the tournament.
Right. There have definitely been some ideas floated around. As you've said, nothing is really stuck yet. Meanwhile, Ouijawii discovering Charlock here, the big C.
Unfortunately, Logris, when you go to see the person in the game who can remove the curse, the item is destroyed.
Right, so very briefly, the object of Dragon Warrior is to defeat the Dragon Lord, who is hiding out in that castle surrounded by the moat that Ouijawii just found. In order to gain access to that castle, he'll need to find the Rainbow Drop, and in order to do that, he will need 3 other items: the Stones of Sunlight, which he has, the Staff of Rain, and the Erdrick's Token. He then needs to talk to an individual we affectionately call the Jerk, because if you don't have all 3 of the items that you need, he will kick you out with varying degrees of surliness, depending on what you do and don't have in your inventory at that point. Additionally, to get the Staff of Rain, you need to first find the Silver Harp, trade that in for the staff in another cave.
So, just to quickly interrupt there, Ouijawii was using sleep strats on a stone man, and was going along fine, but due to not having Erdrick's armor, the stop spell landed. Thankfully, the stone man had taken enough damage, and Ouijawii was able to finish it off, getting to level 11, which had nothing too great on it, but a level is a level, stats are stats.
And I think moonblazewolf might be a little confused here. I think he was looking for the chest, I think, to set up the gold grind, but forgot he'd already grabbed it and hadn't actually visited the overworld to reset it yet.
So it looks like we might be setting it up now. And here comes the town for Ouijawii. So the keys have been found, but has missed coal, which was closer to the castle than Rimmeldar. But still, good thing here for Ouijawii for sure.
Yeah, it does look like Blaze is going to set up the gold grind here. See if he remembers to revisit the throne room here before he heads out into the mountain cave.
So yeah, for the purposes of this this exploit, you need to visit the throne room to add the 3 chests that are counted in that particular place to add to the total. So once you get to 8 chests, the memory is filled, and anything you open past that before you leave that area, so the castle, will go to the overworld, I should say, not that area. Go back to the overworld, that'll reset the count. But once you're at 8, anything you open past that will still count. There is actually the possibility of having Swamp Cave going from Tanagel to Garenham, and there's some real shenanigans you can do with that to set up a gold grind as well, depending where the gold is. But I haven't seen that in a long time. That's one of the,
neither have I.
To pop up nowadays.
Right. Meanwhile, it looks like there might have been a silver shield available.
Yes, there was a silver shield in Rimmeldar.
Also, I can't help but notice, despite what it says on the tracker, I'm thinking Ouijawii might be using Agility MP as the build? It looks like some sort of MP build.
I'm not sure. I just know their stats were roughly lined up. Let's see what it looks like here with magic and hit points going through the spotter. 6173. Yeah, that doesn't line up with what we're seeing on the stats below.
Right, so the way that your stats work is it is actually determined by the first 4 letters of your character name. And basically there are 4 potential builds where 2 of the stats will have kind of a long-term focus and wind up higher over the course of the seed. And those 4 builds are Strength HP, Strength Agility, HP MP, and Agility MP.
Alright then, well, if our tracker could switch Ouijawii, McGrew's saying maybe hit points, magic points.
Maybe, but...
No, it can't be hit points, I don't think.
Can be
Hit
hit points.
are lower
No.
than what
Yeah,
we're
that
saying,
looks
so-
that looks correct.
Agility magic points, is that a possibility, as you said?
Unless the bonus for strength HP is different than the bonus for HP MP, I think it has to be agility MP based on what we've seen.
Ouijawii getting picked off by a green dragon in the swamp cave. We've seen moonblazewolf fall to the same fate. And back out in the world goes Ouijawii. Actually going to go check the basement and find out Mountain Cave is down there. Oh, that's where he died.
That's
Okay,
where he
I
died,
thought he was over by Rimmeldar.
Moonblaze, checking out.
Well,
Gonna buy a large shield.
Yeah, get that large shield at least, another 10 defense. I mean, that's probably the endgame equipment you want to go with, unless you knew where a silver shield that close to the castle would be.
But with the agility the way it's looking,
Another green dragon takedown. They are being vicious tonight.
they are not being nice to poor Ouijawii.
Speaking of vicious
with
monsters,
agility, the way it's looking, trending very low. Might, if you know even there's a silver shield available at all, it might be worth taking some time to do the reverse grind for that.
as the reason for that is with low agility, your natural defense is going to be lower. Each 2 points of agility will give you 1 defense point.
That is indeed correct, and your strength works similarly, except every point of strength grants you an additional point in attack power.
Green dragon kill here, if it could happen for moonblazewolf, would mean a lot. Gets to heal, and the green dragon stays asleep, and this probably is going to be... There it is. So this will be level 9 for Moonblazewolf. However, with that sizable experience point lead, and Ouijawii now having keys, the only real advantage Moonblazewolf has is a slight exploration lead, and of course, Erdrick's armor.
Right, though Erdrick's armor, as compared to other armor, that is quite the difference. That is a 24 defense power difference, to say nothing of all the other cool effects that Erdrick's armor has.
Absolutely, and Ouijawii might be looking to set up a goal grind here, in addition to just exploring this cave. Knowing there's a silver shield in Rimmeldar, and knowing it's not that far away, as we said, or as Emptyeye said, I should say, would be a good thing. And uh-oh, someone hide Spark over. There's way too many bridges on screen.
Lots of bridges. Sparkover loves it.
Oof, there is some nasty stuff in that mountain cave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of nasty stuff, Green Dragon is doing its thing, taking on Moonblazewolf here in the forest.
Yeah, that HP again proving kind of.
Oh my goodness, I've never seen that one. Did you just see what Ouijawii found?
No, I missed it.
Pretty sure it said Rainbow Drop.
Oh, nice. I've seen Ball of Light. I don't think I've seen Rainbow Drop, though. And meanwhile, Moonblazewolf not validating the seed, not checking the Spark over bridge for the item. Ooh, hiss, shame.
From the highs of many bridges, Spark over now brought low with no validation.
Ouijawii across the swamp here. Take the direct route.
Might finally see what's up this peninsula. There's a town. 2 towns. Oh boy.
Wow. There's Cantlin.
We have Cantlin, so the other one by process of elimination would have to be.
I believe that has to be Garenham.
It's the right order of finding because you got the keys right now, so it kind of works out. Ouijawii taking a leisurely stroll through damaging tiles to talk to somebody. Must really want to talk to this guy.
Yes, indeed. Let's see. Oh, that wants to go and fight.
No overworld search to be had. So the token
Ordnance.
is either in a chest or in Hawksness.
Indeed.
And we have the Stones of Sunlight in the throne room. And we have yet to find the harp, which is looking like it's probably going to be in Garen's grave.
That sounds right. Meanwhile, the Erdrick's armor was in coal.
Of course, you know, it could just be in the warehouse here in Garenham as well.
Very true. Also a silver shield available there.
There's that loose red dragon again in Hawksness, but moonblazewolf makes the escape. And a stone man, and of course the golem. Ugh.
And getting attacked by the golem. Yeah, okay, well... Yeah, probably just taking the death warp there, I would think.
Gold, cursed belt.
Of course, that's
Interesting. Someone's blocking the door on poor Ouijawii.
Oh no! Yeah, probably just gonna bail out the other side, and does need to check what that cave over there is anyway.
We haven't seen either trade option yet. I'm gonna guess in one of those. No, it's the freebie. Oh boy, the freebie could be huge. How about the harp? Nope, it's the fairy flute. Still good. That pretty much confirms the token having a very good option to be in Hawksness. Not guaranteed, but it really increases the chance of it.
That is true.
So is Ouijawii just going to try to grind all the way up, or just want to check what's in the shop here?
Yeah, taking a look here.
Get the half plate.
Upgrade to half plate, okay.
So that's an increase of what? 12 defensive points,
yes.
I believe? Not too bad.
Yep, 16 total. So yeah, nice defense boost there.
I think, yeah, this will dead end. Coal's basically to the south of here. Just got to be on the, you know, got to find it really close to getting to that nice setup here.
Yeah, and the fairy flute, given that spike tile in Hawk's Nest, the fairy flute actually could prove pretty useful here.
Absolutely. I mean, a little more hit points would be nice to help guarantee slightly better health. But they do, with 73 magic points, next time Ouijawii dies, could potentially try to go in there, use the fairy flute. Anytime the golem wakes up, put it back to sleep, heal more back to full, and hope it's still asleep. Could try to take it down. I mean, 100 attack power is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, it wouldn't be quick, but it would be doable, I think.
I think this is Cole right here, and this is going to be great news for Ouijawii.
Yeah, he's gonna like what he finds here.
I believe moonblazewolf has found Garen's grave. I'm not 100%. It's not moving right now, but I believe that's what we're looking at.
Looks like yes. Have to forgive me, I don't navigate caves in the dark very well, or at all, unless they're Swamp Cave. That one I can kind of do.
I do the top floor of it to the chest, that's about it. Well, here comes a potential golem try, and it's sneak attacks to start. That's just mean.
That's no good.
Surprised Ouijawii didn't leave the fight, but gets the heal off, and the golem's still asleep, and we're off to the swinging races here, cutting down a golem.
Yep.
Golem wakes up, though.
I've woken up, but...
Might be able to just use a heal this time.
Might just use regular heal, or...
May risk it too.
I was going to say, if he's feeling particularly frisky, he could just swing.
Oh, he uses the heal more. A bit of a miss there. A bit of excessive magic points spent. But still, this golem should be killable with a little bit of luck here. It's looking good right now.
Yep.
There's level 10 for moonblazewolf.
Golem waking up after 3 attacks.
Probably going to see the safety heal again, of course, because you don't want to die at this point with all the investment of time and effort.
Yep, this time just throwing the regular heal.
And gets it done with the swing. There's 255 experience points and the token.
And the token is in Hawk's Nest. I'm going to drop the corset. Sorry, Sparkover.
I didn't see what moonblazewolf got out of the top of the grave, unfortunately.
Yeah, I missed it as well. It was
Harp was in the grave, so the harp was on the
in
top
grave.
floor of the grave. Alrighty then, and it appears Ouijawii is going to potentially try to grind a couple golems to the next level. So things that are still in the wind at this point, both trade caves. I think that's about it. We've seen everything else.
Yeah, I think our key items, other than that, have all been located. So we had the Stones of Sunlight in the Throne Room, the Frederick's Token in Hawk's Nest, the Silver Harp in the Grave. We had Erdrick's Armor in Coal and Erdrick's Sword in the Tanagel Treasury. And the Death Necklace and the Fighter's Ring were both in the Mountain Cave.
I wonder if moonblazewolf's going to try to go back into Hawk's Nest right now and go for the potential token grab. But hasn't seen Catelyn, so is not sure about if there's even anything in there.
Right.
And I wonder if moonblazewolf remembers that peninsula, because moonblazewolf was the one that was over there looking around there early on and got killed by that, endgame zone of enemies.
Oh, that's right, the kind of choke point there, yeah.
Right now, choosing to go out in the world, and the first thing to pop up is a red dragon. That's not great. Here's a level 12 for Ouijawii. That's soon.
Making us
Any moment now.
Making us wait in anticipation here.
5 power, 7 magic points, 8 magic points. We're missing a certain stat there.
0 agility! Oh, I love it!
Man, that's about the 4th level, 3rd for sure of 0, and there's been at least...
Yeah, and I think
and
we
there's
got a
been at least
separate
2.
0 power, 0 HP as well.
There's been at least 2 levels of 1 agility as well. It's been rough on that agility counter. Look at that, 45 at level 12. Jeez.
The HP not looking so great either. And that's 45 with an agility focus, which is really crazy.
Magi Wyvern here, really putting the boots to moonblazewolf, but the heal more saving the day, and down goes the Magi Wyvern. It appears Ouijawii's just going to keep this grind going.
Interesting play this early on, but it seems like it's working for him.
Maybe the lack of hit points and the dangerous stuff of the overworld has Ouijawii worried.
Yeah, it's possible. And given the Fairy Flute, you have heal more. I mean, it's a slow process, but 255 a pop. The sheer, I guess, density of experience per kill does sort of make up for the slow actual kill rate.
Has anybody checked what's guarding in the swamp cave?
I don't believe so.
Well, I believe moonblazewolf is in the swamp cave right now. But with no radiant, no torches, unlikely to go check. It's not the easiest cave to get around, and despite being such a small thing.
Right, the swamp cave, when I said I can do it in the dark, I meant going from one exit to the other. I did not mean taking the detour to rescue the princess.
McGrew is checked, apparently, so that's nice.
Of course he has. While we're here, I do want to give a shout out to our restreamer Sparkover and our tracker, who is also the creator of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer, McGrew. Helping us behind the scenes here.
Wasn't it for McGrew's hard work, we wouldn't even be watching this match right now.
Indeed. Meanwhile, Ouijawii just about tapped out of resources. Going to run into an Armored Knight.
Trying to get away, but the Armored Knight is being very insistent on asking some questions.
He gets away there, though. And makes it to the Motel 6.
Moonblazewolf is really taking a lot of deaths here. My goodness. The problem with that repel spell is it's bringing in a lot of dangerous stuff. It may almost be worth it to not use it once you get away from the castle. Hope for some mid-range stuff you can slice up quickly for some experience points. Not that the defense is that high, but still.
Alright, well, here's a Magic Wyvern. But yes, the way the repel spell works is it basically does a comparison of your stats with the enemy's stats. And if someone in chat wants to give more of the specifics, they can, because I can never remember what the specifics are. But the point is, it runs a comparison, and if you pass the check, the enemy just doesn't show up at all. It doesn't replace it with a stronger monster or anything, you just don't encounter anything on that square. So, helpful for trying to take long walks on the, swamp here. Or if you're trying to count out coordinates, which are a non-factor in this particular seed.
An example of what you were talking about earlier, Emptyeye, Moonblazewolf goes back to the Swamp Cave, and this time just casts Outside, which magically transports MBW over to the other side of the cave, even though they entered from the south. And this wizard's throwing a lot of breath around here.
Yep. And decides to try to run, and gets blocked. And
speaking of run and block, there's more Armor Knight action.
It sounds like you have a co-commentator yourself over there.
Oh, my squeaky little boy cat is hungry, clearly.
For once, Mario the cat is behaving for the moment. Alright, Ouijawii defeating the Armored Knight. Armored Knight's one of the two toughest enemies in the game to run from, along with the Fun Police, the Red Dragons. X-Knights with Stop Spell, that could be useful to know. Stop Spell and Hurt. So of kind of the endgame enemies, Axe Knight's definitely what you're going to want to run into. BW looks like just kind of trying to do some... We're trying to do some grinding, maybe do a heal walk? I feel a little confused what MBW was going for there, if I'm being honest. Both our runners now on this second continent, or the north side of the Swamp Cave. Ouijawii picking up level 13 here. 10 power, there we go. 5 agility, 5 HP, 18 magic. New spell, and it's Radiant. Level 12, by the way, brought the Spell of Return, which means we don't have to worry about a potential Walk of Shame home from Charlock. Just cast Return after defeating the Dragon Lord. Both our runners here looking for really different things. We know that the harp is in the grave, and that the token is in Hawksness. I don't know that our respective runners who need those items necessarily know that, but it almost doesn't matter because MBW finds a cave, and it's the Jerk Cave. So, we'll want to kind of file that away for once he obtains the staff and the token. Fortunately, not very useful as yet. Red Dragons with the mini Wombo combo here. Red Dragons with Sleep. We tend to call Red Dragons the fun police because, as Ron Burgundy likes to say, when you see one, the fun tends to stop. This particular Red Dragon configuration, rather interesting, because it has Sleep, but it also has Baby Dragon Lord Breath, which is one of the better things a Red Dragon can actually have. Without it, they tend to hit hard.
Yeah, but pairing that with Sleep is not that useful.
Correct. I believe we saw earlier the Red Dragon has a 25% chance to do each.
I see that the hit point or agility didn't get much better on 13, but the magic point sure did.
Magic points did. Agility, strength took an okay boost. I think it was 10 strength for Ouijawii.
Still needs a couple more of those to feel really good about life, though.
Yes. $115 attack power, really not good enough to think about victory, although that's several steps in the future at this point for both our runners.
So approaching the 1 hour mark, quick recap for those that have joined us partway through. The Stones of Sunlight was in the throne room along with 2 magic keys. Both of our players ended up using both magic keys in Tanagel, one to get out of the throne room and the second one to get into the treasury where they found Erdrick's sword. And from there, moonblazewolf fell behind on experience points as Ouijawii did a great grind, including Sleep on green dragons. But moonblazewolf picking up Erdrick's armor first from Cole, which allowed for more exploration. And we'll finish this in a second, as moonblazewolf is about to find the towns that you need for keys. So we know there's no coordinates, so I guess I'll finish the recap real quick from there. Mountain Cave is under Tanagel once they found Rimmildar to the southeast. They got their keys, went down there, didn't get any story items in there, but do have the potential of a reverse gold grind if they get the stuff from the Tanagel treasury. We have seen Silver Shield, so they might decide to do that yet. In the interim, the token is in Hawksness, which is right near the castle, and we have the Garen's Grave has the harp on the top floor. So Moonblazewolf, with the exploration lead, has found the harp first, but has yet to get the fairy flute, having not found the freebie cave. But we'll get that momentarily. It is in the back of Garenham, and we have not seen either trade cave, I believe, unless that happened while I was away.
MBW did actually find the Jerk Cave while you were gone.
Well, unfortunately, not the cave you really wanted to see.
Correct. Still gotta find that Staff of Rain trade-in. The Harp trade-in. Acquire the Staff of Rain.
The Staff of Harp cave trade, you know, all the fun things. Just
Yes.
words. They're just words. It's fine.
Indeed. So, MBW grabbing the gold and the corset here.
Ouijawii heading now into the mountain cave again. Did Ouijawii empty out the treasury before coming down here? Here comes the fairy flute for Moonblazewolf. Let's see if that means a trip to Hawksness is in the future.
Work over our restreamer saying she will be right back.
I'm sure everything will be, but...
I don't even remember how we decided that cursed belts were core sets for Sparkover. I think it was a combination of the cursed text, my body is being squeezed, combined with the fact that Sparkover was one of the original female members of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer community. And somebody, maybe her, maybe somebody else, just put all that together and decided they were pretty core sets for Sparkover.
Well, maybe Sparkover just likes memes.
I know Sparkover likes bears. I don't know how she feels about memes. Last chest in the mountain cave, by the way. Either an herb or a key.
There's confirmation from our tracker, McGrew, that Sparkover started the corset thing. So there you go.
There we go.
Moonblazewolf is closing in on level 12 at the moment. Still trailing in experience, but has that harp and one of the trade cave knowledge pieces.
If I remember correctly, the Jerk Cave was kind of the southwest corner of the map.
I'm kind of surprised that Moonblazewolf isn't checking Hawksness right off the hop here. Because if it does have the token, would have everything you need and then just need to go find the trade stuff and settle down and grind.
Indeed.
Because at this point, Moonblazewolf is only missing knowledge on 2 chests in the overworld, the bottom 2 in the grave. So figuring out if the token is in Hawksness or not would be very useful.
Right. Meanwhile, Moonblaze is getting to level 12. Thinking MBW might still be a little put off by the low HP. I believe they do know it is a golem, but golems hit hard, as we know.
They do, but that flute really makes it doable, just lengthy.
Because you do need a bit of luck with it. But it is doable, especially with the MP totals being what they are. I have plenty of shots at it.
A demon knight dying. I always like to see that. Well, here's a cave on Ouijawii. Is this the Rainbow Drop Cave?
This is the Rainbow Drop Cave, yes.
It made sense based on the description you had given me, so story checks out. Well, here comes maybe a Hawksness attempt from Moonblazewolf.
Oh, and Ouijawii giving us a taste of the text there. When you have the token, but not the... In this case, he's missing the Staff of Rain.
Was that seriously 2 poltergeists at Hawksness? Given everything else, it just seems wildly out of place. Yes, Ouija did indeed just clear Mountain Cave a few minutes ago. Finished clearing it. It had already done most of it and died, and then just checked that last chest.
Just check the last chest. Finding Charlock again.
Fairy Flute again. Golem asleep. Moonblazewolf risking it here.
Swinging it 35, and it works out.
Should have used the Fairy Flute first.
Fairy Fluted, then heal Mord, yes.
Yeah. Order of operations, as they say. He's gonna have to heal again here to be safe. Alright, so now set up. The golem is staying asleep. Start swinging and cutting it down. An armored knight dying there for Ouijawii. Always nice to see. And here comes the token for Moonblazewolf.
That's big. That I would say that officially puts MBW in the lead here. Although both our runners still have to find that Staff of Rain cave. It is hiding there somewhere.
Sparkover's calling out the real creator of that particular meme.
I am just a DWR meme factory. That is my only contribution to this community.
Mine's mostly Ouijawii. So with these items in hand, Moonblazewolf just needs to find the Staff of Rain cave for the trade-in of the harp, and then needs to get the Rainbow Drop, and then just needs to get the stats. You know, that little problem.
Yes, so speaking of the stats, you might notice both our runners have orange MP on the tracker. And what that means is that that particular stat is kind of starting to creep up into the ready range. At orange, it's what I like to call context sensitive, where you sort of look at it and then you look at the rest of your stats and you decide kind of if you're good to go. Eventually, hopefully, that orange will eventually change to green, which means the stat is good kind of independent of everything else.
The higher your strength gets, the less magic you need. That is pretty much the basic rule of how things look. There's a little more minutia to it than that, but that's a pretty basic primer looking at things.
Yeah, there's definitely, you can do a lot of kind of analysis, but as you said, strength and MP tend to be the two big stats you want to look at. Along with HP, you generally want a minimum of 97 HP. The idea being you'll survive 2 max Dragon Lord breaths for 48.
So I wonder if and when Ouijawii finds Garen's grave, if Ouijawii's gonna find that harp on the top floor, maybe think I should take a death right now, go back and get a silver shield, because you can tell that agility is not moving up, which means that defense is really trashy. That is some bad defense for level 13.
It is not good defense. And the agility does in fact affect your chances of running away from enemies. Although even at 50, you are at least theoretically favored to run from everything except, I believe, Armored Knights and Red Dragons.
Here comes level 14.
Enemies, so
more
0
10
power!
more magic.
Oh, I love it! At level 4.
My goodness. So the magic is now green. That is 13 heal mores potentially for the Dragon Lord whenever that time comes. So that's pretty good. We're just waiting for all the other stats to start making some moves here.
Just waiting for everything else.
I see a spark over spot. Has that been searched?
It is not. Well, of course, we know there's nothing there, but nonetheless, still a little disappointed it was not searched.
Red Dragon here for Ouijawii. Gonna cast Stop Spell to try to stop that sleep. It lands. That was not like, that was like almost a coin flip, really. And then an excellent doge.
Oh, getting the critical miss. Oh, yeah, okay, doing some buffer strats, I guess. Sure. I have felt the ecstasy and the pain of the critical miss multiple times.
You gotta hate that. You're like, yes, because it makes that great sound, and then it gets that beep, just that little beep to say, oh, you missed.
Yep, I have no idea why it checks for the critical hit before it checks for the dodge, but it does.
Probably because the developers just want to be trolls. Here's a cave for Ouijawii. It is Garen's grave, so the harp will be in hand here for Ouijawii soon. Just runs from a golem, doesn't want any part of that. Goes up the wrong pathway. I do that all the time.
I do that, yeah, I definitely always count that one short myself. Certainly been there.
And the key empty, and presumably the harp.
And there's the harp. And yes, Ouijawii making the veteran play here knows that there's nothing super important remaining in the grave and just bails out.
The only thing worth doing would have been looking for a gold grind just for a silver shield, maybe.
Right.
But you never know when that agility is just going to pump right up and add all that defense you want. Because even a gain of 10 adds 5 defense.
Yeah, an extra 5 defense certainly nice.
So right now, the big thing is going to be, do you do the homework or do you just get the grind done first? The problem with not doing the homework is you could be stuck desperately running around not finding what you need, but that grind might help you be a little more favored to get away from stuff. But on top of that, you have to consider all the enemies we've seen. There's a lot of endgame enemies on this overworld. Repel can bring them to you, and you can grind as you search.
Right, and the other thing is, there are times when you do want to just kind of sit and grind, but you do have to balance that out with every minute you are grinding is a minute you are not exploring, which is a minute your opponent potentially is exploring and finding new things. So it's definitely a balancing act, but overall, I think I'm with you here, and I think the play I'd make is still kind of doing the homework just because of all these enemies. These high experience enemies on the overworld, where you can, as you say, sort of grind as you explore.
Yeah, but these zones, it seems like the right move. There's a lot of blue dragons, green dragons, all kinds of things. And your defense power isn't that high. You're keeping away some of the weaker ones. And like there's an example of how bad their defense is. Ouijawii just took a bite for 42 at level 14. Just brutally bad defense.
Yeah, Ouijawii getting sent back to the start there.
So I still don't think we've seen what's in the swamp cave for a grind. That might actually end up being the grind. I still actually haven't seen Sherlock when looking at the screen, so I'm not sure where it is. I know it's been seen, but I have not seen it, so I don't know where it is in relation to everything.
Yeah, it has been seen. I think it's definitely also kind of to the south. Possibly kind of the southwest of where MBW is right now.
Red Dragon just about down here for moonblazewolf, and assuming that this can be finished off, expensive fight for the magic points, and there's a sleep.
Oh no!
Oh no! Gotta wake up. No. Oh, that's brutal.
That's upsetting.
I don't know if you can quite call that a commentator's curse, but that wasn't great. I think we're going to get a check here from Ouijawii on what the spike monster is, the spike tile.
Yeah,
Guardian.
like it. Smart move, certainly. Definitely want to see if there's something better than a golem in terms of potential experience per minute here.
It would have to be sizably good, though, for the here, then you have to exit out of the cave and to get to Rimmeldar.
That is true. You have to exit.
Hawksness is so close.
Hawksness is pretty close to both another town, Breckenary, and the castle.
I mean, a big one here for Ouijawii would be the Axe Knight with all those magic points. But it's a blue dragon. I don't think anything too dangerous on it, but it's just going to be a pain.
Not exactly what Ouijawii was looking for. They're going to try to bail out.
And of course, that Axe Knight was on contingent upon Hurtmore, which I'm just realizing now is the one spell they're missing.
Yeah, that would definitely help. Although Axe Knights in this seed have Stop Spell and Hurt, so definitely probably what you want to run into on a spike tile, even without Hurtmore.
Oh, in that case, you just cut them up with your sword and stay there forever.
Yep.
Ouijawii heading out the north side of the swamp cave and looking for that Staff of Rain trade-in. They've both seen the Rainbow Drop trade-in, but have yet to find the Staff of Rain trade-in.
Yep, it is lurking somewhere.
And for those wondering, the Rainbow Drop Cave is pretty much you go south from the castle along the coast and just keep going down through a group of bridges and swamp and you'll find it down that way, more or less. Unless it's well past Rimmeldar, I'm remembering something else down there.
MBW coming across a dead end here with a Star Wyvern.
Ouijawii back into the swamp cave now. And that experience lead has been mostly consistent.
Yeah, it's been pretty steady, about 1,500.
It's had slight variations, but it's pretty much been anywhere from 1,200 to 2,000 along the way here. So Ouijawii maintaining lead right now. And hey, there's one of those Axe Knights you were talking about.
Yep, it tries to throw a stop spell. That's not going to do anything.
2-turn battle, even with the strength at 80, coming along. So, yeah, Ouijawii is lacking in strength, so this must be, as I said, agility magic points. Quite the odd combo.
Yes. It is not one you tend to see a lot of. Strength HP or strength agility tend to be the main two. You did see one HP MP earlier.
Here's a lot for moonblazewolf. So right now, I believe, yeah, they're both 14s. Once the tracker updates to 14, you can compare the differences between the two builds.
Yes. Demon Knight. Dodging again. Demon Knights have the highest dodge rate in the game. It's a shade under 1/4. But I have definitely had times when they have dodged me 3, even 4 times in a row. Definitely times it sure seems like far higher than 1/4.
So as you can see, the magic points are 8 higher and the agility is 3 higher on Ouijawii's side. But the strength is 6 higher and the hit points are 5 higher for moonblazewolf. No one getting a huge advantage, really, just because the stats have just been so depressed here.
Right, so both our runners now just desperately trying to find this Staff of Rain cave.
And there will still be some grinding to be done, so they're hopefully either maybe going to spot a good desert zone near a town, or something that they can exploit that will give them the advantage once that grind starts.
Yes, indeed. Well, it does seem like MBW has found, I don't know if you'd call it a grind spot, but just the enemies he's been killing have started to help him cut into that experience lead a little bit. He's now at 1100.
And after both of them finish off their respective fights, it'll still be about 1100. Ouijawii and Rimildar are going to heal up, presumably.
It actually almost looks like, I wonder if Ouijawii is now just kind of also doing a little bit of a overworld grind here. Trying to get another level.
You don't want to stop your exploration as you go, though, because that's potentially dangerous. You need to get that Staff of Rain, and as we've said, there are many, many monsters on this overworld to grind on as you look. Back into the swamp, though, and then back out.
Yep. And realizing that that was the kind of a dead end.
There's more swamp on that island than the island of Manhattan back in the day.
Red dragons with sleep. I believe when an enemy uses sleep, you can stay asleep for up to either 5 or 6 turns maximum. When you use sleep,
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you can stay asleep forever. I don't believe there's a cap on it. I think it's just a coin flip for both them, you and the enemy.
Okay.
Magruka could confirm, being in the chat, of course.
Yes. I know when you use sleep on an enemy, it can theoretically stay asleep indefinitely, but realistically, it is probably going to wake up before that. And sleep, as a spell, is... the effectiveness is somewhat lessened by the fact that an enemy can wake up and attack you in the same turn.
Pokemon Generation 1 didn't even manage that, I don't think. Well, thank you, Magruka. That's interesting. Here comes level 15 for Ouijawii. 4 power, 2 agility, no hit points. Oh,
0 HP! Oh, I love it!
And 10 more magic points.
Yes.
This is insane. Oh, there's Sherlock. It's just to the west of Rimildar, I believe?
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's not a horrible walk to it. Have they checked all around Sherlock? Because there is a bit of area down there.
There is a bit of area down there. I don't think they have checked it, however. I think MBW started to and then bailed out. I don't know if because they had seen it already and I just missed it, or just because they thought there was going to be nothing down there. But
oh, and by the way, don't look now, but it's only a 300 experience point gap.
wow. Ouijawii taking revenge on that demon knight. Oh, what's this? That's a cave.
It's Garen's grave, I believe.
Okay. Yes, I think you're right. Stoneman with stop spell.
These guys are going to be ready to run a marathon with how much running around they've done here in this overworld.
Yep. Here's level 15 for MBW. 420. I love it! And 9 magic points.
At least it brought Hurtmore with it, so they could start, you know, firing off some big shots on some of these enemies if they feel the need to.
Right. Green dragons, axe knights.
Probably not the Axe Knights, as you've said. The stop.
Maybe not the Axe Knights.
They're pretty
Ouijawii
nerfed at this point.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ouijawii with that Hurtmore is annoying.
Nothing that way. Continuing kind of to the... There's a part of the map I'm not sure we've seen before.
Oh, this could be it right here.
Oh, both our runners right at about
Look at this.
finding the cave.
Ooh. This is going to be interesting. This is going to come down to two things. Who has the better grind and who has the better Sharlock luck?
Yes. The differing builds might come into play here as well.
That is true. The strength is looking slightly more advantageous, of course, for moonblazewolf, but a big gain at the next level is not really going to mitigate that to a degree.
Alright, the big thing here might actually be the hit points. Only 79 for MBW at level 50, 74 for Ouijawii. That you'll sometimes, if the attack power and if the HP MP, or excuse me, if the AP MP are high enough, you'll sometimes see people go with a little bit less than 97. Figuring you don't actually need that many attacks, you can afford to double heal more if you have to, but regardless, 79 and not where you want to be. You want a little bit more than that.
Now, both have seen the Rainbow Drop Cave. Do they remember where it is?
Yeah, that really is the question right now.
And the other question is, where do you grind, Emptyeye? At this point in time, looking at the situation.
Yeeg. So, what I've found is that you tend to want to use a grind spot, even if it seems suboptimal, because just the fact that you're constantly fighting enemies kind of tends to make up for the fact that the fight itself might not be the fastest. Neither actual grind spot is an ideal enemy, but because of its proximity, I think, to the castle and to a town, I would probably go with the golem grind at this point, believe it or not.
Well, I'm a big proponent of golem grinds. I'm actually a real fan of that. So that was already kind of winking out at me, and you make a good case. The only sidebar I would make towards something here is something out of Jacquemus Wedge's book would be try a little reconnaissance into Sharlock, do a bit of grind on the way down, and go check the spike tile on the off chance it's an Axe Knight, because you could sit down there for a long time chopping up Axe Knights because of their stop spell hurt combination, and that would be really good grind. It's a long way to go to maybe not get anything valuable other than some knowledge, of course.
Right, the knowledge can itself be useful, but I think if I'm dedicating myself to levels as opposed to trying to multitask, I still think the golem grind in this case is the play, in part because it's close to a town where you can easily heal, and it's close to the castle, so if you screw up or get unlucky, it's not that big of a time loss to make your way back there and sort of try again.
Absolutely, and you can always just make one little poke into Sharlock, see what happens, and if you get picked off, you get picked off. Looks like Ouijawii's going to head for the blue dragons in the swamp cave. Nope. Heading outside, I guess, still going to say, I want that rainbow drop now. I'll worry about the levels after. Yeah, I don't think Ouijawii remembers exactly where it is, potentially. Although, I think it's just down here, looking at the map. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is where it is.
this is it, yeah.
Alright, so good to go. Ouijawii will have the rainbow drop, and we'll be able to access Sharlock. I'm assuming moonblazewolf is heading into the swamp cave here to head through and get the drop as well. And now, what does Ouijawii decide for a grind? Right now, seems to be moving away from Hawksnest.
Yeah, looks like my guess would be going for Sharlock, going for the information dive here.
Moonblazewolf trying to go without repel here. May as well just cast it. You're going to cast outside right away. And got slowed up. But here's a red dragon now for Ouijawii to deal with. Getting that stop spell off. It lands. Red dragon cannot use sleep. Well, that's not true. It can use it. It just isn't going to do anything.
It won't land. I know that Ouijawii did not fill up their resources prior to coming down here. I think it's a bit of a misplay, but maybe just trying to see what's on the top floor. See if there's an okay grind there.
Not the worst idea. And Moonblazewolf grabbing a rainbow drop about a minute after Ouijawii. So we've got a heck of a race here. The experience point gap is just a couple hundred. And the red dragon gets Ouijawii. Getting sent back to the start. Let's see if Hawksnest is a plane. Speaking of the red dragon, it just switched sides. It's coming after Moonblazewolf now.
Teleporting from one to the other.
Moonblazewolf just hoping there's no sleep, noting that it is a low percentage.
I don't even think Moon has tried a stop spell on the red dragon.
It is a 3 experience point gap, I believe.
Yes.
Actually, no. Moonblazewolf took the lead with that.
Oh yeah, by about, what, 40 points, I think?
Something along those lines, yeah. And now a blue dragon. The dragons are lining up. Attacking there, gets the kill, increases the lead now to about 200. And yeah, Ouijawii's just going for Sharlock. And another red dragon greets him. Lands another coin flip stop spell. My goodness, been very lucky on those.
Yeah, I'm not sure he realizes what the actual rate is on that. Been rather fortunate. It's like MBW.
You know what? I really like this play from Moonblazewolf. Just going to go grind up with the stats on hand and work that blue dragon. And could die. It dies. Could always start grinding on golems in Hawksnest. Or could always head out to Rimbledar, refill, and come back in here.
Yeah, since he's already out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much a tie ball game again on experience. It's a slight lead for Ouijawii. No, sorry. Actually, almost tied. My goodness. Moonblazewolf with a 4-point experience lead and going to be increasing that presumably here in a moment. As we have a Sharlock entry at the 123 mark.
Indeed, running into a Star Wyvern. And unfortunately, that is some terrible agility at level 15. Not helped by the fact that neither runner has a large shield, or has a silver shield, rather. So
79 experience points. And of course, you could dive, clear out the treasury and die and maybe get a gold grind, but you still have to go back in a mountain cave to do it. It's time consuming, that is for sure.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna try the gold grind, you're better off just doing it via the treasury in the throne room.
Absolutely. And we've seen the fighter's ring and the death necklace. They have both of them have it, so there's nothing in the treasury of any value.
Right, the information here is helpful, especially if we can make it to the spike tile to see what that mini-boss is. I do tend to be less a fan of the dive for information if you don't also have a compelling reason to check the treasury. Or the vanilla cave if you're the vanilla spot if you're reckless enough. Because there's not really a reason to go down there for anything but fighting the Dragon Lord. But
I was going to say, and you said you weren't a fan of multitasking. So right now you are seeing the advantage of using a spike spot for your grind. The experience lead for moonblazewolf is crawling upwards little by little. Although I have to say, I think the golem... Well, the problem with the golem is you have to use the fairy flute. That slows it down quite a bit. With these hit points, you would still have to use the fairy flute.
Right.
Otherwise, it would be the better grind, just because for every 3 you kill, you'd have to kill 4 blue dragons to get about the same experience.
Right. I think long term it would probably still even out, but in the short term, since MBW is right here at the Swamp Cave anyway, yeah, I like this play of let's grind on the blue dragons until...
Well, here we go for level 16.
There we go.
Let's see what we get. We've got 1 power.
1 power,
There's some
0
hit points.
agility!
Oh
I
my
love
god,
it.
these magic points.
95 HP. And it looks like MBW is going at least to 17 here.
So whenever Ouijawii gets the next level, the magic points are going to be somewhere in the range of about 138 or 139. Something along those lines. It's going to be interesting. That would give potentially 17 heal wars to Ouijawii. Might be able to go on 16, but the hit points will be a little short.
The hit points will be a little short. I think the hit points will be probably around high 80s, maybe low 90s.
Sparkover asking, what did she roll? You might have rolled the first all Swaggin' Lord all the time seed here.
The Swaggin' Lord play, of course, is casting Hurt More on really either form of the Dragon Lord, but especially Dragon Lord 2. Yeah, Hurt More has a 1 in 16 chance to land on the Dragon Lord.
Looks like decision time coming up here for Moonblazewolf. Just going to take the death and go back and start working those golems now that the hit points are better. Or exit the cave and fill up at Rimbledar.
See what happens here.
Looks like good at Death Warp.
I'm gonna take the death.
Meanwhile, Ouijawii getting through the diamond floor here. Ouijawii use up all that radiant already. Or is it dark walking the whole time and I've not been paying attention? But here's level 16. Let's check out this massive magic point gain. 19.
19. It's at 138. That is 17 heal mores. Plus a stop spell, or a radiant, or sleep.
And indeed, Moonblazewolf heading into Hawkness, pardon me. That might be the first Spectre we've seen. We've seen Poltergeist in here. But I don't know if we've seen the Spectre. That's kind of funny. And then 2 in a row.
And it runs off.
So do you use the flute for this, or do you just, with all these magic points, swing, heal when you have to, and swing? I think you just probably do the swing.
Yeah, I think now you've got enough HP, you can alternate just swing, heal more, swing, heal more.
Seems like the more efficient way to do it, I have to agree. So as you can see, that spike spot has grown a decent experience lead for Moonblazewolf, and potentially this golem's really going to start growing it out.
Although with only 64 defense power, MBW does have to be careful here.
That's true. With high 30s, I believe Moonblazewolf is not safe. Well, there's an example. There's 39.
Nice crit, though, for 95.
Clearly a little bit of a rage crit there. The doggo did not like getting smashed that hard and smashed back.
Indeed. Heal up here. We'll have to see what MBW's kind of risk tolerance is here, now that we know the golem can definitely hit for 39. We've seen it. So, we'll have to see when he decides to heal more or decides to gamble. 25 he's going to hit. He's going to hit for 41. Wow.
Highly enjoying Ouijawii pounding the A button there in that Stone Mad fight. So after moonblazewolf finishes off this golem, it'll be 3 more golems to the level 17, which possibly could be go time depending on the stats. It's looking close now, so presumably 17 is going to get it done.
Yeah, a little bit more strength, a little bit more HP, and I think MBW is good here.
And again, we have to see a big agility gain at some point, right? I think the game would do that.
At some point, I think it's gotta happen.
So Ouijawii is essentially hoping that there's going to be an Axe Knight down here, but has had to spend some magic on the way down, so can't just stay here and grind. We'll have to leave and come back.
Yep.
But the fact Ouijawii's made it to the bottom is pretty impressive. Like, there's a golem run block. It's not going to be a fun Sherlock dive when the time comes.
No, it is not. There's a second run block.
Here comes the golem that moonblazewolf needs for level 17. So once this one is defeated, we will see if it is time for a Sherlock dive for a win.
Risk swinging at 39.
Slivers upon slivers there, my goodness.
Yes.
Here comes level 17. Hopefully Emptyeye does not love it.
So we've got...
Power's good, agility's nice, hit points, it's go time.
And that 2 MP does afford a 16th heal more, so yeah, it looks like MBW is going.
With 133 of attack power, we're looking at a range of 8 to 16 for moonblazewolf, so an average of 12 damage per swing on the Dragon Lord. We're looking at somewhere in the range of 13 to 14 attacks to win on average.
Yep, with 15 heal mores. 16 heal mores.
The only real dangerous thing is that defense. That agility helped a little, but 68 defense power is not scaring anybody.
Yeah, 68 defense means that... Give me a second here. I believe the Dragon Lord can now hit for a max of up to 52. So that might factor into the calculations here.
I believe you are correct. I think it's a max of 52. Ouijawii trying to save some magic here for heal mores possibly. Using an herb. And the spike tile is a golem. All that way down to find a golem. Ugh, not great.
Not exactly what Ouijawii was hoping to see there, I don't think.
The good news for our runners is that they will have the fairy flute for when they make their dive to win. So that's kind of nice.
It's true. It is a good thing MBW will have, presumably, an extra heal more. Or 2 to burn, at least in theory, because with 104 max HP and that low defense, I would not count on getting any double attacks outside of maybe the opening.
Yeah, an opener or a closer, as you said, is about it. You would have to get some incredibly good low-rolling physical luck to have a shot. Even then, I think his minimum is going to be 26, because I think it's half of the max.
Yeah.
So, looking at it, you would need 2 minimums to be at 50, and you would still risk a physical death. So it's very, incredibly, breathtakingly unlikely that you're going to get away with a double as an opportunity. And you can't be safe, so yeah, not looking great. But here we go, moonblazewolf making the first attempt to win of our 2 competitors. It's not over yet, though. That agility is very scary. That defense is very scary here, but... all you need is some run luck. That's all.
Yeah.
And already looking bad.
Yeah, at this point it looks like not even defense-breaking Star Wyverns. Some of the weaker Sherlock enemies, so...
Not even defense-breaking wizards.
Indeed.
Lots of torches for attempts, though, for moonblazewolf, and that's important with the magic as is. Moonblazewolf has just enough for 16 heal mores, and then have 1 magic point left over to pine after using.
That is correct.
So far, so good, but we did know that the top of the castle seems pretty tame. And I don't want to say it because I don't think I want to curse it, but there's just something we didn't see on that dive from Ouijawii.
Yes, I think I know what the something we didn't see is, conspicuous by its absence. Here's a hint, it's not a stone man.
But stone men just love run blocking, but they're stop spell users, so not the end of the world this time. Damn it!
Oh! Wii U!
Why do I say things? Probably can burn that one heal more and be
really
still okay,
but yeah, I'm gonna just slug away at this red dragon, which is not actually the worst play in the world. Just because the agility is so low.
Yeah, probably, but still, there's the sleep, unfortunately.
There it is.
Keep in mind, though, that baby breath could be a bailout for moonblazewolf. And it was, potentially.
I'm gonna use some of those herbs that you bought in Breckenridge.
So that was 2 heal mores spent already. Ouijawii looking gonna be trying the Dragon Lord here in a minute? I guess just getting away from the golems, looking for something else. Okay, no magic points left. There we go.
Yeah,
gonna get level 17 and then
gonna get level 17 off of this.
I didn't realize this, but stone men are also severely limited. They have stop spell and hurt as well.
Usually it's stop spell. I didn't see the hurt though.
Just used it now. Hey, Squeak. Yeah, right now moonblazewolf is diving to win, and Ouijawii's just death warping out to try to dive to win. Low agility is going to make this tough. 2 heal mores already spent by moonblazewolf. Probably the limit of what moonblazewolf would want to spend on this dive. And there's another red dragon. They have sleep. That's dangerous.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see.
The fire breath you do want to see, because it's baby breath, but they just can't get away from the red dragons. Now, Ouijawii didn't see any on his dive, and there's another heal more for moonblazewolf.
Yep, now down to, I believe, 13 heal more.
13, still possible at 13, but after that, it's going to get nasty. And speaking of red dragons, they are on the overworld, and they have trapped Ouijawii down. Into the U floor, or the barracks floor now, moonblazewolf, hoping the red dragons are behind him, and making way through here. Another red dragon for Ouijawii. Ouijawii's going back to the castle.
Back to the castle. I'm not even making it to Charlock.
That desert is full of red dragons. Ouijawii has run into a good half dozen down there at this point.
W does make it to the bottom, finds a stone man. Runs away.
So with 13 heal mores and an average damage output of 12, that's 156, 160. It's still, you know, in the range there, but you really can't afford to give up any more heal mores at this point. Looking good, though. This floor has been very kind thus far. A lot of green dragons, werewolves, stone men. Just that middle chunk has the red dragons in it. Otherwise, this is a pretty nice Charlock overall.
Pretty nice Charlock, yeah, kind of what you want to see. He's going to get the news about the golem here.
Not using the fairy flute. Bit of a shocker.
Hoping for a 3-shot, maybe? Gets it.
Little dicey, but gets it done. And here go the rest of the herbs as well. 2 herbs anyway.
Herbs, I have to think. Yeah. Well, 2 of them.
And time to be a fool.
Old B. Does Old B. No back attack here. That's what you want to see.
Opening volley of 43, but it hurt more.
Hurt more, not what you want to see. I'm gonna take a second swing here.
That right there tells you how bad their defense is. The Dragon Lord punches for 25.
25. Yes.
No back attack, and starting with a 15. That is a good opener.
It's a good sign. Yeah. So, MBW, I believe, favored here, but not a lot.
Only 10 that time, so right back to average here of 12.5, essentially. Right around average.
13.
Up to 38 now, and still on pace. The average is a little dicey. You want to be above it, but being on average could get the kill. Ooh, there's an 8,
Ouch.
though. That's
There's
46.
That's not what you want to see.
56 now.
6. Yep.
If the rolls stay low, it's gonna maybe be time for a Swaggin' Lord attempt, but we'll see. 16
There's a
there. That's a
16.
big one. That's a max 72.
72, right? Yep, okay.
So right back to average
helpful.
again. 15, another big one. 87.
87. 7 heal mores left, 6 after this one.
The next one gets it to 97, a little below average there.
Yep.
There's a 14 up to 111. A 9, not so good. 120, right back to dead average again.
Yep. Still in okay shape here.
130.
30.
We'll get 2 swings at the end, and that's probably going to get it done, even swing and average. In good shape here. 144. That's back to average. Looking really good now.
Now he's in great shape.
And gets it done with a
155 is enough.
Yeah, gets it done. So get your GGs out. Moonblazewolf is going to take this matchup here. 1-3 versus 1-3. Moonblazewolf will move to 2-3, not making the knockouts, but winning in week 5 for a bit of pride. And Ouijawii,
nice to finish out strong.
Indeed, and Ouijawii being, I think, in the knockouts last year, dropping to 1-4. Bit of a shocker there.
And the tale comes to an end. Moonblazewolf has finished in first place. Their official time, 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 7 seconds. GG and congrats to MBW.
So a seed where the magic points just kept outstripping everything as they kept going along. It was something else. Thank goodness they had that sword to start, or that could have been truly terrible with Hurtmore coming at 15.
Yeah, sword to start, definitely helpful.
You never quite get everything you want in a seed, and when you do, it ends really quickly. Just ask Mr. Holmes. Meanwhile, Ouijawii continuing to dive, carrying, looks like 16 heal mores, having used 1 heal more already on the dive. As we know, has a few more available here and probably will be okay.
But meanwhile, we have Moonblazewolf in the commentary chat here with us. MBW, GG, and congratulations on the victory.
Hey, thank you. That was a good one.
Oh, what a crazy seed that was. Starting with the sword and magic just continuing to pile up en masse. Thank goodness you had that sword, because Hurtmore being so late, that would have been a brutal overworld to navigate with that low agility and no Hurtmore.
Yeah, I felt like the hit points were really low for most of the seed 2 until I think level 16 I got a pretty big bump. But yeah, that the sword was nice at the beginning. The armor wasn't too hard to find, but that map was incredible. That was like the most wild map I think I've seen playing this summer.
It had some definite trolls to it, and of course the harp trade-in was about as far away as it could get, along a coastline, tucked away in a desert beyond a mountain with a narrow entrance. Just disgusting how that sets up sometimes. And the rainbow drop too was also out on a windswept peninsula by the ocean. Pretty hilarious how that works out sometimes.
Yeah, and the Harp Cave, I basically knew where it was for a while, but that was like the Desert of Death crossing with it was like all of the really hard monsters, the red dragons, armored knights. And the red dragons had sleep, so that was just getting over there was pretty incredible. And I felt like if my opponent had better RNG than me, it would have been pretty easy if they sort of had figured out the map to get over there before I did. So I'm very fortunate. Feel very fortunate that I was able to make it.
Well, it was an interesting race, and if you're planning to watch it back, I don't want to give you too many spoilers because it was just very neat how things swung back and forth, and different approaches, and how it just all came together really close. As Ouijawii now taking on Dragon Lord 1 here.
Yeah, it was very entertaining from start to finish, I have to say.
And the discussion around what do you do here is this end game, as you both were desperately seeking that harp trading cave, was more or less proven true. Pretty interesting, but lots of Healmores available. The problem Ouijawii has is potentially going for Hurtmores.
Yeah, immediately going for the Hurtmore strats.
I guess figuring it's over, plus the strength being a little low, just trying for some Hurtmore strats here. I love it. All those magic points, right? But yeah, Ouijawii's playing a agility magic points build, so only has 96 hit points and 126 attack power at level 17. So far, no Hurtmores landing. And by the way, your rolls were pretty interesting. You kept swinging back and forth on the Dragon Lord. It was big stuff, and then it would swing you back to average. Or you drop below the average and drop something big to get back to average. And if we can pull up the stats of the Dragon Lord here after this fight is over, it'd be interesting to see what the hit points were. It was somewhere in the 150 to 155 range, so a pretty low hit point Dragon Lord. But you were still fine, of course.
Yeah, I had a couple single digits swings as my magic points were depleting. That was making me a little nervous. I had to burn 3 Healmores on the way down too, just because the Fun Police were really out in force, and that was rough. I knew it was probably kind of borderline at that point, but thankfully was able to get it.
Well, there was a Hurtmore landing.
There's one, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty late in the proceedings, though. Only got 2 Hurtmores left to fire along with a Healmore. Lands another one!
The second one! This just got interesting.
So basically could try swinging once, then Hurtmoring, or swinging twice and just doing... Oh, we got the manips now! We got manipulations going on!
Up for strats, I love it.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been so
That would have
good.
been the first time in tournament history someone has landed 3 Hurtmores twice to run away. Love it. But that would have been the first time in tournament history someone had landed 3 Hurtmores. I recall Game Boy F9 last year landing 2 and not killing the Dragon Lord.
Great, and unfortunately, Ouijawii does forfeit. But what a finish!
Indeed. Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone for watching. I'm going to be dropping off. Emptyeye is going to handle the rest of the post game. So you all have a good night.
All right, good night. Thanks for helping me out here. You see the stats. Yeah, Dragon Lord 2, 153 maximum HP. So on the low end, the Dragon Lord 2 in Randomizer can have anywhere from 150 to 165 max HP. So
I just want to quickly say too, thank you so much to Sparkover and all of you for putting this restream together. Not just once, but twice for me. We actually had scheduled this race for last night, and my power got knocked out for the entire evening. So the fact that you were able to all be willing to come back and do it again for a 1-in-3 match, really of no consequence, but it really means a lot to us. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who helped out with that.
yes, of course. Thank you to Sparkover and Meguru and really everybody. Ouijawii saying that declining the interview, their mic is acting up, unfortunately. So, but yes, congrats on moving to 2 and 3. Unfortunately, not enough to get you into the bracket stages, but it's got to feel good to finish strong here in week 5 with the win.
Yeah. This is my first time playing Dragon Warrior competitively for the summer tournament, and I set a goal for myself to go 3-2. 2 and 3 is not far off from that, and I felt like I played pretty well for the most part tonight. So really happy, and just again, thank you to everybody who helps out with this event. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Let's see. I mean, one moment. Let me pull up the only race. No, I take that back. There's a race at, I believe, 11:30 tonight. Give me 1 second to pull up who is actually playing in that race. Okay, so it looks like there's going to be, Archfield Monk versus Zarnax 42, coming up right here on Randomania in about an hour and a half, maybe a little bit more than that. Sigma Fan going to be commenting that one. We will have Lord of the Synth restreaming it and Monsieur Slime tracking on that one. But in the meantime, do we have a raid target or a host target? Do we know? As we prepare to close out here. All right, that sounds good. Yes, what Sparkover said there. We'll be raiding Silverfire, playing not Dragon Warrior Randomizer, but another randomizer, another very popular randomizer, the Link to the Past randomizer. Since the other race looks like it finished up already. That one took place over on RPG Limit Break. So we will go say hi to Silverfire. But before we do, very entertaining 1 and 3 race. I'm definitely glad I got to call this one. So with that, thank you to our restreamer Sparkover, the mistress of bears herself. Thank you to the creator of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer and the tracker for this race, McGrew, for letting you all see how much progress everybody had made. Thank you to my co-commentator, brisulph. Thank you, of course, to moonblazewolf and Ouijawii for putting on that race. It was very entertaining, very fun from start to finish. And most of all, thank you all for watching and putting up with this wacky guy here on the commentary. So with that, we are going to go say hi to Silverfire. My name is Emptyeye, signing off for the night. Bye-bye, everybody.